Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Sports Dialogue podcast host, Paul Edwards.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sports Dialogue. My name is Paul Edwards. I'm your host. Today is June 4th, 2026, and I'm here to discuss the NBA Finals between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. Game 2 will be played tomorrow, which is Friday at 8:30 Eastern. And the Knicks won game 1, and they're leading the series 1-0. So on this episode, I'm going to discuss game 1 and give you my thoughts on game 2, which is, again, being played on Friday. Before I do that, I want to, as always, take a look back at what I said before game 1. And with respects to the matchups, in particular the starting five of the Knicks versus the starting five of the Spurs, Cat, OG, Brunson, Hart, Bridges, and I also made some comments about the bench. So I'm going to play that for you now and then come on back. Okay? Okay, so let's take a look forward to the New York Knicks versus the Spurs. I think that I'm just going to kind of match up a little bit. I'm not coaching, so I don't know what the player matchups are going to be, so I'm just going to speculate a little bit. I think you'll see Brunson and De'Aaron Fox matching up against each other. Both very talented ball players. I think Fox is a very good player. There's no question about it. But I will give the edge to Jalen Brunson in that matchup. The next matchup, so that's one edge for New York, in my opinion. The next matchup would be Wimby and Cat. Then I think you'll probably see OG on Vassell. I think that I would give that edge to OG. I would say that I would put Hart on Castle because Castle's a very explosive player. And Hart, he's got a big heart. There's no question about that. He can defend, he can rebound, he hustles, he can ignite a team without scoring. And Castle is a very good scorer. I'm tempted to give the edge to Hart, but I'm fair. So I would say that one is even. But Hart definitely with hustle, defense, rebounding, igniting a team has the edge. But overall, so that matchup may be even. Then we have Champagny. In my opinion, I would give that edge to Bridges. Okay, so you saw what I said before game 1 in regards to the matchups. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you, we'll start with Brunson. I'm going to show you some highlights of game 1, in particularly highlights featuring Brunson in game 1. And then I'm going to come back and discuss what Mr. Brunson did in game 1.
Well, the Knicks and the Spurs. Last time the Knicks were in the NBA Finals, 27 years ago, against the San Antonio Spurs. Jalen Brunson's first shot of his finals career goes down.
Affected Mitchell Robinson on his ability to finish that putback because it looked like that was going to be an easy finish for him.
He's normally a great finisher. Brunson spins, gets inside, floats it up, and good.
Cornette steps on it to boot.
So once again, Jalen Brunson limping to the Knicks bench. Brunson to spin, goes at the rookie, backs up, leans in, floaters up. Shot won't go, but follows it himself.
I guess the ankle's doing okay.
Brunson has an iron will as he drives against Bryant. Little razzle-dazzle. Backs in. Scoots in right-handed off the glass. Oh, what a sweet move from Jalen Brunson. How about the trust? Mitch Johnson putting the rookie on Brunson. Drives inside and floats it up and in. Now he's starting to get the feel. Drives on Brunson, goes inside. Blocked by Towns. Picked up by Shamet. Lost, but Hart right there to pick it up. Brunson to drive, sidestep, floats it up and in. Jalen Brunson with the bucket. As we approach 2 minutes remaining. Brunson drives, pulls up jumper, tie game. Harper drives, double team. Vassell, tough catch. Hart pokes it away from Wimby. Here comes Brunson. Stutter dribble, drives inside. Layup, banks it in. Jalen Brunson coming alive again.
It did not take long once he got back on the floor. First trip, get a couple of free throws here. Once again in the open floor. Knows that Wembanyama's behind him.
As we approach the midway point here of the fourth. Brunson looking. Brunson driving, layup, shot is good. A Brunson barrage here in the fourth quarter. Brunson keeps it alive. Bridges looks back to Brunson. Corner three is up. Bang! Jalen Brunson from downtown. And the Knicks take a 2-point lead. Brunson on the drive, spins underneath, puts it up, puts it in. Jalen Brunson does it again. It's a 6-point lead with 30 seconds.
Moment when to put this team on his back, delivering time and time again. Knicks trying to steal game one.
Okay, so you saw the highlights featuring Mr. Brunson in game one. So let's take a look at the numbers at what Jalen Brunson did in game one. It seems as if he had 30 points. And he shot 38.7%. which is 12 for 31. So he took 31 attempts and made 12. So there was some rust there, but he certainly dusted the rust off as the game went on, and he scored 30 points. Let's look at the turnovers. He did have 4 turnovers, but however, he got banged up a bit there. I mean, he's got his ankle stepped on. I think the inside of the knee kicked. I was concerned for injury for him, with him limping off, but he's a tough young man. I'm sure he was hurting, but he came back on the floor and continued to lead the Knicks. So he, again, 30 points, very good job. In terms of the shooting percentage, he'll only get better because they were off a number of days. And, my opinion on rust versus rest, I pick rest any day. So, and I think the Knicks' approach to game one was, hey, until we score, let's play defense. If we play defense, we win. And I think the cameras got into one of the huddles and Cat was echoing that same sentiment. Let's play defense. I mean, I thought that's what I heard. And so they knew they weren't shooting as well as they could, but they focused on doing other things. So that bodes really well for the Knicks. So now I'm going to show you highlights of what OG did in game one, and then I'm going to come back and look at his numbers. And
5 on the 24. Brunson sneaks in, layup, bank shot won't go. Hart the rebound, and a new 14 on the shot clock. Anunoby a 3. And a good shooting that has happened throughout the playoffs. Set to play. How much he can play, how effective, still to be determined with that broken bone in his hand. Wembanyama turns it over. Knicks have a 3-on-2. Anunoby goes in with 4, stops, and gets it to go as Wembanyama got there just a tad late. 3-point range. Shot clock, though, already down to 5. Anunoby goes inside, the drive and the finish. OG Anunoby with his 3rd field goal.
There is no other player in the world that can do that.
Deuce McBride, Anunoby corner 3, knocks it down. Anunoby coming alive offensively. And the Knicks go up by 4. Barnes pressuring Towns. Anunoby fakes, shoots over Wimby, and hits another 3. Anunoby's come alive here in the 3rd.
okay, So we saw the highlights of OG. I did say that OG had the edge on Vassell because I wasn't sure what the matchups were going to be, but I thought they would play Vassell on him. And, OG shot 41.7%, which was five for 12. And OG scored 17 points. So 5%, 5 for 12 shooting is pretty good. I mean, I'd like to see 6 for 12, 50%, but that was good. And if we take a look at, let's see if I can't get Vassell here quickly. Yeah, Vassell had 9 points, and he shot 36%, which was 4 for 11. So I thought that, and he turned the ball over once, and OG did not turn the ball over. So I thought that OG would win that matchup, and it seems to me he did. And I thought that Brunson would win the matchup against his counterpart, but they did not play De'Aaron Fox on Brunson. They kept different players, taller players on Brunson. Whether it be Castle, whether it be Champagne, whether it be the young player off the bench, Carter Bryant. So they try to keep length on Brunson, but Brunson found a way to get through. And OG, as I said, shot 17 points. So those two players, I think, had the edge. And I did say they would have the edge. But now what I'm going to do is show you highlights of Cat, Carl Anthony Towns. And then I'll come back and discuss what Cat did in relation to Wimby.
I will tell you this, if you haven't played a bunch of games like the Knicks have in the last month, you know that wind is affecting them.
Towns lays that up, and the Knicks have played 4 games in the last 23 days. Jalen Hart was in for the first time. Keldon Johnson, the NBA's 6th man, stolen by Bridges. Second turnover for San Antonio. At times, that has been a little problem for this younger team. As Towns gets past Wembanyama, layup is good.
He hesitates halfway down the lane, and then he has that second gear when he wants to take off and finish.
Oh, Towns, beautiful move, gets to the rim. Has he not put the team first? He has been the teammate they all adore and respect. Oh, nice pass inside, and Towns banks it in. Spurs have gotten back. Again, excellent transition defense. Knicks with just 3 fast break points. Towns gets inside, takes a hit, and a chance for a 3-point play. Hart left open. Brunson, McBride, quick release McBride. 3-pointer can't get it. Towns the rebound and the putback. Karl Anthony Towns now with 15 points and 9 boards. Hart gonna take that one. In and out. Towns another offensive rebound. Counted and a foul. Karl Anthony Towns chance for a 3-point play. It's back to 3.
Okay, so you saw the highlights of Karl Anthony Towns. And if we take a look at the numbers, he shot it pretty good. He had 15 attempts and he was 7 for 15. That's 46.7%. That's very good for not playing in a number of days. So, and he had 18 points. And the Knicks don't really count on Karl to score as heavy as the Spurs count on Wimby to score. I think, in my opinion, I think Cat, anywhere from 20 to 25 points with the Knicks is a good night for Cat. And I think for the Spurs to win, and I've said it before, for the Spurs to win, Wimby needs to be up around 30 points. There's no question about that. And if we look at what he did, meaning Wimby had 26 points. But, the Spurs are designed that way, where Wimby needs to score, close to 30. And then the other supporting cast, which they have some capable supporting cast, the Spurs, they need to get 5, 6 other players in double figures. But if you look at Wimby's shooting percentage, it was 6 for 21. And that was 28.6%. and he can shoot it a lot better than that. So that could have been a result of fatigue. You know, I saw the Spurs when the Spurs came out. They came out with an intensity level that was off the charts. I mean, they were playing fast and they were playing tough D. I was wondering how would they keep that up. And so that intensity level for the Spurs was high. But again, the Knicks matched it, just as they did. I think it was in Game 3 in Philly when the Knicks were up 2-0. But back to Cat, I think he did well. He had 2 turnovers. Um, he had 1 block, if I'm not mistaken. And if you look at Wimby, Wimby had the 26 points, and Wimby did have 3 blocks. So, I thought they were pretty even because even though Wimby scored 10 more points than Towns, the Spurs are designed that way. The Knicks aren't designed necessarily for Cat to hit a must-hit 30. I think Cat's a 20 to 25 guy in the Knicks system. Oh, he's capable of 30-plus, Cat. There's no question about that. But, in the Knicks system, he's a 20, 25 point guy, and the Knicks have a bunch of other players that score also. So I did talk a little bit about the bench of the New York Knicks, and I gave the bench, although both benches are very deep, they go at least, 10 players deep, both teams, and both teams have very good benches. I gave the edge on the bench play to the Knicks. And if you take a look at what the Knicks bench did in Game 1, they scored 28 points. And the Spurs bench scored 20 points. So the Knicks bench outscored the Spurs. I think Alvarado shot 50%, 3 for 6. He took 6 shots and made 3 and had 7 points. So that's good production there. There's no question about that. I think McBride's going to pick it up. He was 2 for 7. So he'll pick it up in Game 2, in 3 and 4. He'll pick it up. There's no question about that. But the bench did their job, and the bench came in early. I think Coach Brown did a great job in seeing the intensity of the Spurs and not letting his starting 5 get worn down by that intensity. He went to the bench early and often. He meaning Coach Brown and that staff, his staff, the Knicks staff. So, you got to give them, their props for recognizing that and getting the bench in the game. If you look at the overall shooting percentage, the Knicks shot 41.5% percentage points for field goal percentage and 30.6% from three-point line percentage. The Knicks can do better than that, and they will. That's a result of, the rust. And I take the rest over the rust any day. I'll deal with the rust. We were rusty and we won. And we showed. We shot 41% and from overall field goal percentage. And then we shot 30.6% from three-point land. We will do better than that. But the main thing is we won. And before I flip to the Spurs, I don't have the highlights for Josh Hart, but, I told you that he's one of my favorite players. He has a big heart. There is no question about Josh Hart. He is a tremendous player. I think he had, if I'm not mistaken, just want to take a look, he had 15 rebounds. I mean, Josh Hart, how tall is he? I'm not sure. He's 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". I mean, 15 rebounds and 6 assists. There's a point in the game where he was just getting the rebound after rebound after rebound, and that changes the game. So big props to Josh Hart on his Game 1 performance. And I think that, my only thing, other message to Mr. Hart is, hey, listen, your teammates have confidence in you shooting. I see that they're rotating the ball to you. You're coming off screens, you're getting the ball, but I see you passing up shots. You took 5 shots. and you were 1 for 5, Mr. Hart. Have confidence in your shot. I believe you can get more shots up. Don't pass up the shots. You're running the system, your offensive system, and I see, your unselfish nature is to pass the ball. But if they're going to leave you open, you got to make them pay. Trust your shot. Have confidence in your shot. Let it fly. So that is my message to Mr. Hart. Now, finally, I'll take a look at the Spurs shooting in game 1. They shot 36% from the field and 25.6% from the three-point line in game 1. They didn't shoot those numbers against OKC. Now, again, the Knicks are going to tell you, well, our defense is better. That's what we caused that. But if you take a look at what the Spurs did in game 1 against OKC, they shot 42.7%. Game 2, 48.9. Game 3, 42.5. And in game 4, they shot 38%, which was low, which is almost like this 36%. So it seems that there's a little history of them not shooting well in game 4. And in game 5, they didn't shoot well. They shot 40%, but the Spurs bounced back in game 6 with 46.7%. So the Spurs, if you look at game 6, they shot 46.6%. That's game 6 against OKC. And then game 1 against the Knicks, they shot 36%. So the Spurs didn't shoot it well. And I don't think they only had a few days off. So I don't think the rust factor was there. I think that they had 3 days or 5 days. It wasn't that long for them to be rusty. I don't know if it's fatigue, but I'm going to be watching these numbers and watching what I see visually with respects to the Spurs. I think in game 2, I don't think the Knicks have to worry about the Spurs coming out with a higher intensity level. I don't know how they can raise that intensity level any higher than what they had in game 1. It's possible, but they may come out and match that intensity level in game 2, but at least the Knicks have an idea of what that intensity level feels like and what to expect. I do think the Spurs will shoot better in game 2, a better field goal percentage. I think they'll shoot it better than the 36%. They'll be somewhere in between their 42 and 48%, like they did in the OKC series. I think they shoot 42%, and I think they'll shoot, probably 35 plus percentage from the three-point line. So I think they'll shoot better, the Spurs. I think the Knicks will shoot better. I think the Knicks are going to shoot up around 47% in game 2 plus, and I think they'll shoot, maybe 37% from 3. And I think, they just have to make their free throws and play defense. And to the degree that the Knicks can limit Wimby scoring to, between 20 and 25, but even if Wimby gets closer to 30, I think the Knicks have to prevent the Spurs from getting 5 or 6 other players in double figures. So I think that, Wimby's probably going to get his. The Knicks should focus on limited that wonderful supporting cast that the Spurs have and making sure that they don't get 5 or 6 other players in double figures. And the bench of the Knicks really need to continue to do well in game 2. So those are my thoughts on a recap of game 1. Those are my thoughts going into game 2. And I'll be back with another episode, God's willing, to discuss game 2 and preview game 3. As always, thank you for watching. I'm going to show you a little bit of a promo of my upcoming book release, and hope you'll join me on the coming episodes. Thank you, and God bless you, and make sure you get your exercise in. Get your doctor's approval first, But make sure you get your exercise in. Thank you, and God bless you.
The Truth Plan shows us how to help to eliminate the inequities in affordable housing, unemployment, healthcare, education, the media, small businesses, access to capital, and much more. The Truth Plan also shows us how the elimination of these inequities also benefits the higher income community. The goals and objectives for equity are crucial in addressing the disparities that exist in our society. A primary focus must be on eliminating the racial, wealth, and equity gaps that disproportionately affect low-income and minority communities. This involves a comprehensive approach that includes ensuring access to affordable housing, improving employment opportunities, and enhancing healthcare access for underrepresented groups. By prioritizing these areas, we can create a more equitable foundation for all individuals, regardless of their background or economic status.
The Truth Plan is a self-help plan to eliminate the racial, wealth, and equity gap that exists between the low-income, the middle-income, the Black and brown communities, and the higher-income communities. The Truth Plan believes that all communities should prosper. The success of the Truth Plan will help to eliminate the inequities between the aforementioned communities in the areas of affordable housing, unemployment, healthcare, education, the media, small businesses, access to capital, and more. The higher income communities will also benefit. Prosperity for all. Never settle for less.